Hello, everyone. In this video, I wanted to go through this fact check here from Lead Stories. All right. What brought me to it was this article from the Right Scoop, which if you look at the title here, update, footage already investigated. Fact check says nothing wrong here. Video footage shows suitcases filled with ballots emerge in Georgia after poll workers told to leave the room. Now, they were told to leave the room. There were sworn affidavits of this, and they're trying to play this as a completely different situation than what it actually is. Like, oh, well, they were just basically stupid, which I'll show you. And yeah, they're really trying to just twist this, all right? So you got the footage. The footage has been gone through. You can see it from the beginning to the end, all right? They're really trying to play it like people are stupid. See, what made me go and look for the fact check was, I got down to the tweet here from Gabriel Sterling here. And the 90-second video of election workers at State Farm Arena purporting to show fraud was watched in its entirety, hours by Georgia Secretary of State investigators. Shows normal ballot processing. Here's the fact check on it. Now, what's funny is you go to the fact check and you find out the fact checkers were the people that were investigating themselves on the note of this election. The Georgia Secretary of State was so basically the fact check to prove that this was legit was done by the Georgia Secretary of State's office, their investigators. Which I went, okay, this is a little bit messed up. Because this is the police policing the police type of situation. It truly is. And they think that they can just get away with something like this and, nothing to see here. There is this mentality in Georgia and with the GOP across different states and especially in Washington, on the note of the national GOP party, that they run things and that the Republican voter base is one of, what they've traditionally had. They don't realize that Trump's voters are the new Republican voter base. And a lot of them were Republican voters, but they're Trump voters. This is Trump's party. And they think they can get away with pulling the shit that they are here and not have consequences from it. And they're starting to realize that there's going to be consequences, and you've got these attacks and browbeating type stuff going on with, well, in Georgia, you need to vote for the Republicans or you're going to lose this, that, and the other thing. It's like, well, if you'll openly stab Trump in the back in front of all of us, you won't raise a finger to help your own sorry asses, like on the note of the two Republican Senate candidates, the one that was appointed and the other guy. Because demanding an audit would probably benefit them with the idea of when you go and you steal an election, you don't just steal one race. You go for multiple races. They probably wouldn't need a runoff. So there's all this shady stuff going on, and they're trying to play it like, there's nothing to see here. Then you have this happen with the ballots, okay? And with this, you have footage, and you watch it. This lady struggling to slide a plastic folding table, because it's been rigged to have all these ballots stored under it. There's no sign of these ballots being put under the table the whole time the cameras are on that table there. So she slid the table in with those containers of ballots there. And they're trying to play this like this is legit, legal counting, nothing to see here. Oh, we didn't tell them that we were shutting down counting for the night, but that was what was officially friggin' spread. That was what was stated on election night, that Georgia shut down counting. Period. And they're trying to act like they never did that. Okay, this was reported nationally. They are seriously thinking people are stupid. So you get the fact check here, which we're going to get into. But before we do, I just want to read this one section from Just the News, their article, Georgia Secretary of State's office investigating early departure of Atlanta ballot monitors, because I want to show you how they're trying to frame this. Now, this was written by Daniel Payne, and it was updated on December 4th. So let's go down to here. This is a quote from them. Okay, this is from Walter Jones, a spokesman for the Georgia Secretary of State's Voter Education Division. Now, keep that in mind, Voter Education Division. This isn't like the Secretary of State's office looking at this. This is the voter education division. So basically, they're trying to treat it like, well, these people were too stupid to know what was going on. Why else would you have the voter education division looking into this? So just to prove that, all right. So he was aware of Fulton County scanning had continued during the period captured in the video presented at the Senate hearing. Now, it was made apparent that they stopped counting in Georgia. They announced this. This was announced on national news. Now they want to play it like, oh, we never said that. Okay, so look, this is because they're trying to play this like these people were stupid. We have launched an investigation into why the monitors from the political parties left before scanning ended, Jones said. While it was their right to leave early, we want to make certain they were not misled into thinking scanning had stopped for the night when it had not. You have sworn affidavits where people are saying the woman that there's the woman with the blonde braids is what she's being referred to. Forcing the press out, forcing the observers out. Saying we're done counting for the night. We're going to go back at 8 a.m. This has been documented. Multiple sworn affidavits to this. This is proven. You can see her escorting them out, going like, get the hell out. You know, we're shutting down for the night. Yet they're trying to play it like this, and they're trying to set up the narrative that these people were stupid. They didn't know any better on leaving or not. Okay, so you're moving further on down here. So another spokesman in the Secretary's office offered further information on the goings and appearance depicted in the footage. One of the things that was mischaracterized about that video was that they said, well, these suitcases were pulled out from under a table, the spokesman said. Well, we had record voter turnout, and so the ballots had to be put somewhere so people could walk around. So there was no mystery, he continued. They were actually secured containers that were used in a lot of jurisdictions for transporting ballots. Our folks officials, they knew they were under that piece of furniture. It was not pulled out of the dark when nobody was looking. Yes, it was. This is how stupid they think people are. Go watch the footage. She is struggling to bring that table in. No one puts any of these containers under the table from the minute she brought that table in, okay, till the time that they said we're shutting everything down. Not one person loaded a damn container under that table. And she's struggling to bring it in. A light plastic table that all she had to do was lift up, okay, and move there. But she's dragging it behind her using as much strength as she possibly can to get the thing there because it weighs a damn ton, because it's got a bunch of containers stuffed with ballots, stuff with ballots under it. And they think people are stupid. And they're going to try, oh, well, these people are just too stupid to know they could stay. They were told to leave. And they're going to just watch, go, nothing to see here. Oh, ignore those affidavits of those people. They just didn't know any better. Mark my words, that's what's going to happen. So now let's get into the fact check done by the very people that are supposed to be investigating this. So yeah, this was from Lead Stories published on December 3rd, written by Alan Duke. Fact check. Video from Georgia does not show suitcases filled with ballots suspiciously pulled from under a table. Poll watchers were not told to leave. Yes, they were. You have sworn affidavits, okay? These people are risking perjury, with perjury, are risking jail time. They've sworn to this. Why don't we get the dumb broad who escorted him out, the one with the blonde braids, which is actually curls, but why don't we get her under oath and see what she has to say? Let's see what she does under the threat of perjury. Alan is a propagandistic sleazebag here, but so let's look at this fact check to show you how ridiculous this is, because they literally use the people that are investigating this to go, well, that's not what happened. The people that are supposed the people that have the highest risk of this causing a problem for, okay, like the Secretary of State's office, they investigated and said nothing to see here, and we're supposed to just take that at face value. Anyway. Does security camera video show a Fulton County, Georgia election supervisor suspiciously pulling suitcases filled with ballots from under a table after telling poll workers to leave the room? And did that election official continue to illegally count ballots without required monitors in a manner that calls into question Joe Biden's narrow win over Donald Trump in Georgia? No, those claims are not true. Really? This is what I find funny. Nope, they're not true. Funny thing is people have gone through that footage and they literally watched from the multiple angles. They watched at least one person running the same stack of ballots through multiple times. They seriously are afraid of this video evidence. They are so scared of this because everything's about to unravel for them. If this gets like out there, this actually gets some traction. This actually leads to something of an investigation because you've got the Republicans in Georgia and the Democrats in Georgia, all of them, that are like establishment rhino, doesn't matter on the Republican side. They're all shitting purple Twinkies right now. They don't know what the fuck's going to happen to themselves. And they're trying to do whatever they can to deal with that. They want to try to control this situation. That's what this is about. This is about saving their own asses. So yeah, no, these claims are not true. This is where their proof comes from in this. 2 high-level officials with the Georgia Secretary of State's office and a state elections board monitor each told lead stories that their investigations revealed nothing suspicious in the video. Excuse me? See, they're trying to push this narrative. They're leaving out the fact that she had to use all of her strength. I mean, you look at her, she's struggling. She is struggling to move a table that weighs a few pounds because it's injected molded plastic, the tabletop. If you looked at the tables, they're like those tables you can buy at Walmart that are like the white plastic with the metal legs that are like the old school folding tables, except really light, crappy plastic instead of like, fiberboard with wood veneer. They weigh next to nothing. Yet she's pulling it behind her and she's actually having to struggle to move the thing because there were 4 suitcases, as they're calling them, of ballots stacked under the damn thing. Oh, well, they had to be stored somewhere. Well, how did they get under the table? Because she moved the table there and no one stored the ballots under it. All that footage showed no one put any ballots under there. So they already had to be there when she moved in the table. Common sense dictates that. I mean, this is some ridiculous shit here. Seriously. You've got the people that are supposed to be looking into this that could very well be involved with it, investigating the situation. Oh, well, we investigated ourselves and we found absolutely no wrongdoing. And they call this a fact check. Are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? Oh my God. The officials said the ballots seen in the video were in regular ballot containers, not suitcases, and they had been removed from their envelopes and processed while news media and election observers for the Republican Party and Trump campaign were present. Bull. That is a lie. The video evidence says you are full of it. The video evidence says you are completely full of it because no containers were put under that table the whole day. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. No one put any under there. So they already had to be there when she dragged the table out. If you notice, all the other tables are being picked up and easily placed. The one table where these things were being stored, she had to drag it out and use like all her strength to do it. She was struggling. How stupid do they think people are? Oh my God. And I think the affidavits say that those ballots, they never saw them. And then they're ignoring the fact that people can watch the video footage and have seen stuff like, oh, exactly when that spike for Joe Biden came, someone actually matched the timestamp to the spike. And it was during this. Nothing to see here, no fraud, no nothing. And then the Republicans in Georgia, they expect the people that voted for, say, Trump, that are quote-unquote Republican voters, that are populist voters, that voted Republican because of Trump, they want them to shut up and get in line when they're allowing this shit to go down? The sheer fucking hubris of these people. Seriously. This political elite class don't realize this is about populists versus them. It's not Republican versus Democrat. And they think the populists are going to bend over and take this? Hell no. And now they're freaking out because they're saying, we ain't going to vote for you in Georgia if you don't lift the damn finger and do what's right. Well, you better get in line and vote for us. You know, you got them being shamed. You got them being browbeat. They're trying to tell the deplorables they better fall in line. These are the same people who heard for 4 years that they're racist, that they're sexist, that they're, Nazis and fascists and everything else. And you think you're going to get them to go in line with this? You think they're going to buy into this? You think they're going to accept this? When this, excuse me, the Secretary of State, Republican saying, oh, nothing to see here, literally covering up for this, which goes to show, all right, those whole things that Sidney Powell was talking about, him taking kickbacks and stuff like that, family members and that, is looking more and more promising. I hope he's getting ready to be fitted for an orange jumpsuit with this one, because he's looking guilty as all hell. This is ridiculous. The media and party observers were never told to leave because counting was over for the night, but they apparently followed workers who left once their job of opening envelopes was completed. The chief investigator for the Secretary of State told lead stories. No, you literally go see the lady, go and tell them to leave. You have sworn affidavits where they were said, yes, we were told to leave. The counting was done for the night. Are you going to sign affidavits saying that this is what happened? Because are you going to risk going to jail making this statement? Because those people risk going to jail saying that they were told to leave. We're supposed to trust the fact checkers when there's no way to verify if this is true or not. We're supposed to ignore people who have put themselves at risk of going to jail and paying fines for lying, for committing perjury. We're supposed to ignore them, but trust these people. This is twisted. We've gone past clown world. We have seriously gone past clown world. I don't know what we're calling this new realm we've entered, but it's not clown world anymore. We're well past that point. This is such ridiculous shit. Oh yeah, they just followed people. They weren't told. No, they were just stupid. They saw these people leaving and assumed everything was over. Give me a break. The observers were free to return at any time, she said. Georgia law allows observers, but does not require them to be there for ballots to be counted, she said. Oh, really? Well, how convenient then that lady who had to struggle to move a table that weighs all of what? Maybe 5 pounds? Had to struggle to slide it in there where there were boxes, these quote-unquote security boxes full of ballots that no one ever put under there the whole day. But they mysteriously pull those out and go, let's count these. This is all legit. We're seriously supposed to believe this. When it's easily proved that they're full of shit. Oh, well, those ballots need to be stored somewhere. Okay. How did they get under the table? The table was set up and no one put them under there. Did they just appear by friggin' magic? Okay. Was there like Star Trek beaming or Star Trek beaming technology or Asgard from Stargate SG-1 beaming technology? With on that note, was there a bright flash of light and they just appeared under the fucking table? How stupid do you think people are? They just materialized out of thin air. And you're saying it's legit. Come on now. The claims made at a Georgia State Senate hearing by a Trump lawyer appeared in a video posted on YouTube. State Senate hearing by a Trump lawyer appeared in a video posted on YouTube on December 3rd, 2020 by Trump's campaign titled, "Video from Georgia shows suitcases filled with ballots pulled from under a table after poll workers left." Archived here. The video description reads, "Watch video footage from Georgia shows suitcases filled with ballots pulled from under the table after supervisors told poll workers to leave the room and 4 people stayed behind to keep counting votes." Which is exactly what happened. You have affidavits from these poll workers that said that's what was done. You have the national news reporting that you were shutting down your counting over there in Georgia at that time. Yet we're supposed to buy into the bullshit of this fact check done by the people who are investigating impropriety done under their watch. Yeah, okay. The Epic Times reported the false claims in an article titled "Georgia State Farm Arena Footage Shows Poll Workers Staying Behind Pulling Out Suitcases with Ballots." Because it's true. Literally, they expect you to ignore what your eyes show you. They seriously think that they can tell you something different than what your eyes are seeing and you're going to believe it. President Donald Trump's legal team on Thursday presented surveillance footage to a Georgia state legislature hearing, that appears to show election ballot counting workers kicking out poll observers late at night on election day before pulling out suitcases allegedly filled with ballots. A woman who identified herself as Jackie Pick, a lawyer who was assisting with the legal case, said the team received video footage from State Farm Arena's vote tabulation center in Fulton County, Georgia. The team said that GOP poll watchers were not allowed to watch the counting process in the poll center. But according to Pick, an unusual occurrence took place later in the evening at around 10 p.m. Eastern Time. A woman described as a blonde woman with braids told workers to stop counting and told everyone to go home. And there's sworn affidavits to this. Everyone clears out, including the Republican observers and press. But 4 people stay behind and continue counting and tabulating well into the night, Pick said. They counted unobserved until 1 a.m. Oh, no, they didn't send them home. Well, they waited. And this is another thing they're trying to play this down on this. They wait until everyone leaves, and then they go for those ballots. Weren't there any other ballots there that needed to be counted that weren't under the table, that were more immediate and more easily accessible? Aha! Think about that one, too. Because these people think you're stupid. Gabriel Sterling, a Republican in Georgia's voting system implementation manager, told Lead Stories during a phone call on December 3rd, 2020, that what can be seen in the video is normal procedure and nothing looks bizarre or odd. So, look at this. They're doing an appeal to authority because he's supposedly a Republican. But you look at how the Republicans are acting in Georgia. All right. These rhino neocon wastes of space. The establishment hacks there that don't have a spine. This is all blatant. And you've got these ones like this one here, Sterling, covering for it. Which makes you wonder. He's covering for this, and then they're telling people in Georgia to shut up and vote Republican that voted for Trump? With the runoff? Seriously? The hubris of these people. Oh, God. But it's normal procedure and nothing looks bizarre or odd. Everything looks bizarre or odd of that. You have her sneaking the table in, putting it there. No one slid any of those containers under the table. But yet, after everything shuts down, they lift up the tablecloth and boom, they're pulling containers out from under there. There's no proof that anyone put any under there. The video cameras show that it did not happen. So that means she had to have brought the table in with them under it. Which means the table had to have been modified to hold them under it so that she could slide it. Which is why, she wasn't picking it up like they were picking up all the other tables. You look at all the other tables being set up. They're being two-handed. They're just lifting them up and putting them down. This one she had to drag in, and they think you're all stupid. These people are disgusting. Election workers known as cutters, because their job was to open absentee ballot envelopes and verify ballots for eventual scanning and counting, were dismissed for the night sometime after 10 p.m. on November 3rd, 2020, because their work for the evening had been completed, he explained. These workers, who remained, were responsible for conducting the scanning portion of the process, since ballots could not be left without being scanned overnight, he said. How? Then why did the lady say they were shutting everything down and there were sworn affidavits to her doing that? Francis Watson, chief investigator for the Georgia Secretary of State, told Lead Story during a phone call on December 3rd, 2020, that the ballots were in standard containers and their work during the time in question had nothing to do with pulling ballots from under a table, she said. Now, this is the thing. You don't think that they're going to put ballots into these valid containers if they've got them? Of course they are, so that they'll blend in. That doesn't mean squat. Even if, and they're not really special containers. Those transport containers are used for a lot of different things because they've got security involved with them. You can put the foam packing in them, and they use them for like sensitive equipment and stuff like that. They're nothing special. You can order these things from multiple companies. They're a standard container that's got a handle on it and is able to be locked. People use them for like video equipment. You know that the thing where they were like, oh, the little red wagons, look, we put they were used for video cameras. Those are the same type of containers. Same type. Different size, but the same type. They really think you're all stupid. There wasn't a bin that had ballots in it under the table. It was an empty bin with the ballots from it were actually out on the table when the media was still there. And then it was placed back into the box and the media was still there and placed next to the table. Bull. Bull, 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 bull. You literally see them being pulled out from under the table. They show all the footage. No one went and put these things under the table. From the point when it was moved there by that lady who was struggling to move a table that weighs less than 5 pounds because it's all air-filled plastic and two metal folding legs. No one put any ballots under it, but yet they're pulling them out. And we're supposed to just accept this bullshit. The people who are investigating their shadiness are saying they didn't do anything shady, and we're supposed to just accept that. There was never an announcement made to the media or other observers about the counting being over for the night and them needing to leave, according to Watson, who was provided information by the media liaison who was present. She said they just followed the cutters as they left. Oh, bull! Bull! Oh my God! This is their fact check. They're literally asking the guilty parties that were there involved in this, saying, did you do anything shady? Oh, no, not us. We were all above board. This is shady as all hell. This fact check just goes to show how shady it is and how stupid they think you all are. Nobody told them to stay. Nobody told them to leave. Nobody gave them any advice on what they should do. And it was still open for them or the public to come back to view at whatever time they wanted to, as long as they were still working. They were told, according to sworn affidavits, okay, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Seriously. Sworn affidavits say this. And they actually think they can just ignore that. That they can go and ask the people involved in this at the polling location, at the ballot counting location, about these things, have them lie through their teeth, and, oh yeah, it's the truth, it's a fact check. This is not a fact check. A fact check would actually be investigating. Not just taking the people involved, the people who could be involved, at face value. This is ridiculous. Seriously. In addition, she explained that only ballots that were scanned after the media and other observers had left were those that had already been opened in front of these observers. Contrary to the claim, the ballots were not in suitcases, she said. The black boxes and bins seen in the video are the standard container used for the ballot counting process. Now, suitcase was used. This is another thing. This goes to show how dishonest they are. Suitcase was used as a general term, okay? They're not even using a proper term. These are like, what are these, clamshell cases or something like that? Is I believe what they're called. They're like a standard clamshell case. Yes. They sell them in different sizes. You can buy the one that they have. It's a standard size. It's a clamshell case. Now they're being nitpicky because a clamshell case is very much like a suitcase or an attaché case or a briefcase. This is playing at semantics. This is trying to get technical. Well, they weren't suitcases. No one said that they were literally like suitcases. Suitcase is a general concept that a clamshell falls under. But they're going to use this technicality to go, oh, it's false. Seriously, how dishonest these people are. It's disgusting. A state election board monitor who asked for his name not to be used due to safety concerns told Lead Stories on the phone on December 3rd, 2020, that he was present at the vote counting location beginning at 11:52 p.m. after leaving briefly at earlier in the evening. He then stayed till about 12:45 a.m. when the work that night was completed. Okay. Big whoop. He was there. What was he? You notice they don't say he was a Republican. They don't say anything like that. You would think they would want a Republican there. The Republicans were specifically told, this shit is done for the night. Go home. You know, like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out. The deputy chief investigator for the Secretary of State's office was present beginning at 12:15 a.m. November. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Excuse me. But at 12:15 a.m. November 4, he said, the election monitor also told Lead Stories that between 8 p.m. on November 3rd, 2020 and 12:43 a.m. on November 4, 2020, the scanners had scanned about 10,000 ballots. The forensics say you're full of shit. They scanned way more than that because you literally have them lining up when the ballots were scanned with the spike. They want to ignore forensic evidence. They want to ignore video evidence. They just want to dismiss it and go, well, we checked it ourselves. And even though we're possibly parties that were involved that look more likely like we are involved, we investigate ourselves and we're perfectly innocent. Nothing happened. And it was just completely above the board. Seriously. According to the Georgia Secretary of State's office, Biden received 2,474,507 votes, while Trump received 2,461,837, a winning margin of 12,670 votes for Biden, which goes to show how bad they had to steal. That even to get that narrow of a margin, it's beyond blatant. And they want to go, even though you can look with your own eyes and go, this shit wasn't above board. This was like third world or like, communist dictatorship type of elections. Okay, you're looking at it yourself and you're saying this. You're seeing this with your own eyes. They want you to ignore all that. They want you to ignore common sense. They want you to ignore all the evidence coming out and believe this fact check that goes with two people from the Secretary of State's office that could be in deep legal shit for this. Okay, we're supposed to believe them and trust them. We're supposed to trust the Secretary of State where there's allegations that he or his family took money from Dominion voting. I believe it was Dominion voting, and the same with the governor of Georgia. They're being so adamant about being nothing to see here. Could it be that they seriously have some like criminal shit going on here. You look at the secret little compact that was public, but it got no attention, that the Secretary of State made with Stacey Abrams and the Democrats about the signatures and everything else. Really shady. They were setting this up in Georgia back in 2018. He doesn't want anything looked into what he did because he knows he caused this situation to happen. The Secretary of State. So, of course, his people, his lackeys are going to go, nothing to see here. That's completely legit. Just ignore the fact that, oh, they put those under there, but even though there was no proof that anyone put any boxes under there, and you look at her struggling, sliding the table, okay, we're supposed to accept someone slid them under there. Okay, during that period of that recording, when there's absolutely no proof that happened, you do not see that in the video at all. We're just supposed to accept these things. We're just supposed to shut up. We're just supposed to accept this. We're supposed to put the blinders on. We're supposed to go back to sleep. And we're supposed to allow them to bend us over and anally rape us on a daily basis. Because they're the political elite class. See, they don't understand this idea of populism. This isn't Democrat versus Republican. This is Trump's people versus them. This is populism versus them. And they're in for a rude friggin' awakening. Sterling said when he looked at the results, there was nothing abnormal in the distribution of votes. Except for the fact of when they're doing this supposedly above board thing, you see a spike for Biden matched timestamp of the video to when it actually happened. Yeah, okay, And you literally look, it's pretty much for the amount of votes that they could, in theory, maximum scan. Go figure. Seriously. And there's nothing abnormal in the distribution. Okay, 99 or 98 or whatever it was, 99% votes for Biden, 1% for Trump. Oh, that's not unusual distribution. It just defies all the laws of statistical analysis. Let's just ignore that. Section 21-2-408 of the Code of Georgia, which addresses poll watchers, explains that political bodies and parties are entitled to have official poll watchers. The Secretary of State's chief counsel told Lead Stories it was not a requirement that observers be present for counting to continue, only that it is their right to be there as they choose. Really? I would love to see the actual wording of that law, because pretty much in every state, they have to have observers there to be able to observe. They have to do it in front of observers. To me, that's really friggin' shady that they don't need observers to be there. I wonder if that was one of those things in that little agreement that Stacey Abrams made with the Secretary of State and the Democrats. I wonder if that was part of it. Because you got to be an idiot to say, oh, yeah, you don't need anyone to supervise this. It's a free and fair election if you've got people behind closed doors counting ballots in the middle of the night without anyone there after, according to sworn affidavits, they were told to leave. We're supposed to accept that as normal. We're supposed to accept a lady, okay, a brood of a lady with blonde curls, not braids, okay, struggling to move a 5-pound folding table, sliding it across the floor instead of picking it up like any normal person would. We're supposed to accept that there was nothing hidden under there, and that those ballots, the clamshells, were slid under there during the day when there's absolutely no proof of that. I mean, this is ridiculous how the narrative they're trying to push here. They think we're all stupid. They think you're stupid. They think I'm stupid. They think everyone is stupid. And here they are showing the actual level of stupidity they have when they actually think they can convince people that they're stupid with this and believe they're bullshit and get them to believe they're bullshit. They're the ones that are stupid, thinking that they can get away with that's going to fly. Thinking that they can get everyone to go back to sleep. Anyway. Oh, this is the editor-in-chief of Lead Stories that wrote this. Well, this is why we've got such a bullshit fact check. I should have looked at this last part. Alan Duke is the writer-in-chief. Before we go, look at this. And co-founder of Lead Stories after ending a 26-year career with CNN. Okay, you are fake news, buddy. And he worked in covered entertainment, current affairs, and politics. So, okay, we got a CNN-type lackey here saying, oh, we got a fact check when this isn't an actual fact check. There is no actual fact checking here. You are going to the people that are investigating themselves and getting them to go, oh, nothing to see here. And you're going, yep, take that at face value. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.